Hi, my name is Spoons, and I'm the CTO and a co-founder at Lightstep. I'm here today to tell you about microservices in 3 minutes or less. What is a microservice? First answer is, well, everyone has a different answer. The answer I'm going to use is this. A microservice is a piece of code that implements a single piece of business functionality. If they're done right, microservices are loosely coupled, and I'll explain a bit more about that in a second. You might hear a lot of reasons to adopt microservices, but there's only one that you should believe. If you build your application using microservices, then teams within your organization will be able to develop and deploy their code independently and therefore more quickly. Microservices are no silver bullet though, so even if you are building using them, there's no guarantee that your teams will move faster. What is a single piece of business functionality? Well, it might be something user-facing, like making recommendations or handling checkout. It could also be something internal to your application, like authorization or some sort of data aggregation. You've done a good job of defining a microservice if it's easy to explain that functionality to someone outside of your team. Maybe just as importantly, that functionality isn't implemented anywhere outside of this microservice. That is, the microservice owns the functionality. What does loosely coupled mean? Each microservice has a well-defined contract with other microservices and communicates with them through well-documented APIs. Each microservice also manages its own data. That means no other services access that data without going through those APIs. This, for example, makes it easy to change the schema or other ways that the data is stored. If a microservice implements a single piece of functionality, then all the expertise for that functionality lives in one team. That means decisions about that microservice can be made quickly. For example, if you're proposing to add new functionality, then all the other stakeholders are already in the room. It's also easier to make decisions about what languages, frameworks, and tools to use. Because each microservice only depends on the APIs of other services, each team is free to make the choices that are right for them. If microservices are loosely coupled, teams can even make changes to those decisions, as well as quickly roll out new versions, as there's no need to coordinate with other teams. Microservices come at a cost, however. Getting visibility across microservices can be challenging, whether that's because teams are using different languages, or just because message queues and RPCs can obfuscate requests. If you're thinking about adopting microservices, you'll also want to think about what tools and processes you'll want to implement to provide some consistency across teams. Microservices are independently deployed services that each provide a single piece of business functionality that each of those services owns. For them to be truly independent, they need clear ways of interacting with each other, and that means well-defined APIs. Microservices won't solve all of your problems, but if they're done well, they will help teams within your organization move more quickly. At Lightstep, we have seen many organizations adopt microservices and seen what's worked and what hasn't. If you want to chat about microservices, you can find me at SaveSpoons on Twitter. And if you want to learn more about how an observability tool can give you better visibility into and across microservices, check out lightstep.com/play.